Welcome back to the Tour World Podcast. I'm your host, Dave Ju, and I'm here with Master Ju.
Hello there, Mr. Ju.
Hello. All right. Now, I don't know when this podcast will come out, but we will either be going to our selection event or we will be returning from it. It's one of the two. And so there's two topics here I want to talk about. Number one, how do you select a team for like a big group? And this might just be, why don't we just split this into two podcasts?
You want to do it too?
Yeah, let's just do two podcasts here because this could probably honestly go for a pretty long time.
Well, they might want to hear.
Yeah, so they got to wait for the next
They got to wait another week or so.
The second one is, how do you pick a strong team? And so we're looking at the 5-man team, right? But let's talk a little bit about how do we select the major group. We're talking about, okay, as a whole country, how do I choose people? And what do you think is the best way? And how do we do it currently, right? So for our organization, we have two of our INOs, and we do a selection event, not a qualifier, is it?
We're calling a selection now versus qualifying.
Yeah. And so basically what that means is that, it's a tournament. And if you place first, second, or third in any of the categories, you get to go, possibly.
Maybe, yeah.
The coaches do have the right to say no, right, if they don't think you're ready.
Kind of like best of the best.
Well, best of the best
movie?
of the best is actually more like the second topic we talk about, the 5-man team, because they choose 5 out of a group of like 40.
They like
50
you. They
people.
don't pick you.
You, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, you're right. The Americans, they compete for that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
compete.
Okay. I was thinking about the Korean team.
The Korean team, well, it's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay. So
that's a shout out to Grandmaster Rhee.
Simon Rhee.
That's right.
Yeah.
We've met him.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
So let's go over what do you think is the best way to choose a team?
Well, I think first of all, you gotta take things in context. It depends on your country and what do you have as a pool. If we had I think, and I don't know 100% sure, but like if you're in Argentina, they have a big pool of competitors, and they have competition all the time, right? I'm guessing that they kind of seed that. Kind of like in tennis or any of the other sports. When you have a lot of people and you have a lot of competition, you can start seeding people. This is the number one guy.
Yeah.
And this is not so good. And you have
Well, you put like first and then second,
Right,
and third and fourth, and that way they don't knock each other out.
They don't. You don't have the first two best guys compete against each other. And so picking a team should probably be based on some kind of competition. Olympics is that way. You can have one of the best Olympians in the U.S. and for some odd reason, they have an injury, they're not feeling good, whatever, and they're out. And then the U.S. Olympic Committee is kind of, well, he's really good.
Right. So if you get points for competitions, you could have a bad day, but you're still in it.
Right. So you
Yeah.
could either go. I think again, depends on your situation. So you could go a seeding and you get certain points, and I kind of like that, especially if you go to like international competition and state and local, and you get a certain amount of points. You get more value based on the competition, and then that puts you like number 1, number 2, number 3. You don't need to compete because they've been competing, but okay, we don't have that situation because we don't have that many competition, right? So how do you do that? And so again, you look at our pool of people. We have a pretty small pool, actually. we send a lot to the World Championship, but we actually have a kind of a small pool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, some divisions obviously will have a bigger pool, and they'll have more competitors in that. And so when you kind of have to kind of compete against each other, right? But I still kind of like the more competition you're doing. You get points, and that could just be your team. And with a small pool anyway, I think that's possible. I think that if you want to compete at a very high level, you've got to be competing. And if you're really, really serious about it, you should go not just nationally, but internationally. And that's kind of what we've been trying to do, right? I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Yeah.
Well, help me out here.
I think seeding or getting points for doing competition is I think one of the best ways.
Right.
And like I said, if you have a bad day, that's okay, right? You still have a lot of points, and it also benefits the kids that have, or kids or competitors or whoever, adults that have been competing more, right? And so if they do more opportunities, obviously they're going to be better too, right?
So, but as a group, as an organization, you have to be fairly
You have to
involved in
organized
organize
in
that
doing
and,
that,
and
yeah.
tracking all that stuff.
Right. So you have to have multiple things in order for students to be able to compete and improve those skills. And so I think that's something that's kind of lacking within our own country and organization here.
Well, I would definitely say, like in the old days, we're talking about 30 years ago, where you had state championship and regional championship, and then you have the national championship, and then from there you would select your team, and that's a great way of doing it. But you have to have a big pool of people, right?
Right.
I mean, if your state only has one school,
You're just going to compete within the school.
we're gonna be
right?
competing with, and you send what you got. But there's a lot of divisions,
Right.
and so how do you compete against that? So you go, well, this guy can go, because that fills the hole, and you send them to the regional, and hopefully there's a bigger group, and so forth, right?
So here's an idea I had thought. I don't know, you tell me if this would work or not. So right now, like for our school itself, we have 16 first dan boys that want to go.
Right.
And it's like, holy cows, that's a huge group just from our school, right? And honestly,
trying to discourage them to go.
it might be, we might be the biggest, and we might be the whole thing. But I was like kind of thinking about, I was like, well, you're trying to make a selection
our own
event.
guys.
Yeah, our own guys. You're trying to make the
16.
selection event, run efficiently, high quality. And would it be wrong to have the schools go, well, like, okay, we could host our own in-house between those 16, and you send the top 3. And then let's say another school, they send their top 3. And another school, they send their top 3. And that the selection event or qualifiers that, obviously you can't go against each other from your own school until the end, right? So you have to just kind of sort it out. But what do you think about that?
No, I think it's a good idea. I mean, it's kind of like
I guess it'd be like doing like a regional.
Kinda
but
like a
it's-
regional.
You're just doing your own thing.
I think you have a competition, because sometimes you have out of the blue someone goes, hey, I want to participate at the Worlds, and they were in this little town and no one really seen them.
Right.
Would you want to give them an opportunity? Yeah, give them an opportunity, because you don't know if he's going to be good or not good, and he might
Yeah.
be really good.
Right.
Right. And so you do have you would have some kind of competition in that way. I think right now the way that we're doing it is you have to be invited, and so how do you get invited? Well, you have to participate in
Certain requirements.
certain team requirement or
Yeah.
certain training, and if you completed that, then you can be invited to compete, or you get selected to compete at the qualifier. The problem again is a body of pull. It's how many you have, and so there could have been a person out there that is really good but missed one of the training, and he could have been the best guy, right? But
Yeah.
he didn't hear about it. He decided waited too long.
Well,
Whatever.
that's like the Olympics. You can't have some guy that's the best guy, and he shows up and goes, I'm going to run in the Olympics. No, he has to do the World Championships.
Well-
he has to do the France Open, whatever.
Well, that's true. I mean, for sure. It's kind of like, but you have like sports team where people can walk on a team because they weren't ranked in college or whatever, but they do get an opportunity to go and do a tryout for like the 49ers, and they could make the team, right?
Yeah.
But they have to really be really good in
Yeah.
order to do that. I'm not saying one's right or wrong. I'm just saying that you look at it and you go, what is the best way? And sometimes I kind of just think about, I shared a story in class a lot about Chinese figure skaters. Before they were involved in the international competition. And they finally sent a team to an international competition. It might have been the Olympics, I don't remember. This is a long, long time ago, probably in the 50s or something, when they were deeply in the communists and they didn't let anyone out. And I was reading the story, and they said, the judges were like going, what the heck? They were just really bad.
Right.
They were really bad. And but they allow them to compete. They were kind of the laughing stock. But you know what? They took that as a challenge, and that's why I think competition is important. Take that as a challenge, try to be better, and improve. Well, they took that experience, went back, worked on it, and now you have one of the best, some of the best skaters are from China, right? It's because they took that challenge. And so you have a bunch of competitors. Of course, this is a world championship, and your country is small, and you just send people, and they get demolished, or people look at, oh my gosh, that was not too good.
Yeah.
And so the question I think it's okay, because maybe that person will go back and say, I'm going to be better. I want to, come back, or they might go put their tail between their legs, and that's it.
That's another story there, but we're running out of time. I told you this
Oh,
one
the
topic.
two.
This one topic could take a long time, so
All right,
we'll wrap it
fine.
up here. We're
Did
gonna
it
come
answer
back.
the first one first?
I think so.
Are you
I
sure?
think so.
Okay,
I think we're
fine.
on the same page here,
All
and
right.
I'm same way as a lot of other countries do it. So, let us know you guys' thoughts on how you guys select a team for a country,
All
right,
right.
or a big organization. So, as always, don't forget to be safe,
Keep training.
and we'll see you guys next time.
Take one.